In the autumn of 331 BC, Alexander is at the peak of his power. He has just shattered the Persian forces at Gaugamela, the clash that effectively broke King Darius III's ability to defend the empire. Riding that momentum, Alexander marches into Susa and Babylon. These wealthy capitals surrender without a fight, handing over their massive gold reserves and allowing the mighty Macedonians to walk through the city gates as conquerors. But this string of bloodless victories creates a dangerous sense of invulnerability among the Macedonian elite. They begin to act as if the war is already won. As the army pushes into the winter terrain of the Zagros Mountains, Alexander makes a critical error. Expecting no further resistance, he stops sending scouts ahead of his vanguard. This arrogance blinds a commander who had never known defeat. Just a few miles up the road, a perfectly engineered trap is waiting for him. The road runs through the Persian Gate, a mountain pass that pinches down to a gap only a few meters wide. The path turns southeast, meaning the morning sun glares directly into the eyes of the advancing Macedonians. As the vanguard rounds a sharp bend, they hit a wall of earth and stone blocking the path. Instantly, the Persian satrap Ariobarzanes springs his deadly ambush, raining heavy boulders and arrows from the slopes above. The Macedonians are trapped at the absolute bottom of a V-shaped gorge. Fighting uphill is impossible, and an orderly retreat is blocked by thousands of their own men still marching forward into the bottleneck. Alexander is forced to order a general retreat to save his army, but many are left behind. For the Greeks, failing to recover and bury their fallen soldiers was a mark of absolute disgrace. If Alexander remains stalled at this bottleneck, Darius gains the time he needs to raise a fresh army in the east. The entire invasion is suddenly on the verge of collapse. For a grueling month, the two armies sit in a frozen standoff. The Macedonians realize that any further frontal assault on the Persian wall will be suicide. The stalemate finally breaks when a captured local shepherd reveals a secret, a treacherous, winding goat path through the mountains that loops directly to the Persian rear. 150 years earlier, the Persians used a local guide to find a path around the Greeks at Thermopylae. Now, on the same soil, the roles are reversed. Alexander leaves his general, Craterus, at the main camp. His orders are to light massive decoy fires and keep the horns sounding, making it appear as if the entire army is still waiting in front of the wall. To exploit this intelligence, Alexander leads his best men on a blind night march through the freezing mountain peaks. If the guide is lying or the snow becomes too deep, the army will be lost. Craterus holds the main pass as a noisy decoy, fixing Persian attention forward. Alexander splits his flanking force. One unit takes a short route to seize the hills above, while Alexander leads a wider loop to hit the enemy camp from behind. It is a grueling, silent, forced march in deep snow. The elite Macedonian troops push forward through the cold for over a day and 2 nights to reach their positions. At dawn, Craterus begins a feigned attack at the wall. Just as the Persians prepare to repel him, Macedonian horns suddenly echo from the mountains directly behind their own camp. By attacking from 3 sides simultaneously, Alexander turns the narrow pass into a slaughterhouse. The Persian line crumbles, and the resistance is systematically destroyed. With Ariobarzanes' forces defeated, the final line of defense is broken. The road to Persepolis, the ceremonial heart of the empire, lies wide open. Inside the city, Alexander captures a staggering 120,000 talents of treasure. This massive wealth secures the financial future of his growing empire and guarantees he can continue the war indefinitely. But as the city falls, the discipline of the Macedonian army breaks down. For months, the soldiers loot the capital and slaughter its civilians in a frenzy of greed. The occupation ends in fire. Alexander orders the royal palaces burned to the ground, an act historians still debate as either a drunken impulse or calculated revenge for the Persian invasion of Greece 150 years prior. The Battle of the Persian Gate was Alexander's narrowest tactical escape, but it left the capital of the ancient world in ruins. The path to the throne was open, paved with the ashes of the empire he came to claim.